Hello and welcome back to the MCR. My name is Mac. With me this morning is TJ. And we are going to get right into this one quickly after I thank everyone who supports us for liking, sharing, and subscribing. It means a lot to us. It keeps us going, especially me. It's hard to do sometimes without support. So we're going to talk about our own Detroit, Michigan, which is in Wayne County, Michigan. A forensic study has been done into the 2020 Detroit, Michigan election. And what does it find? It finds what we suspected all along. Election results find up to 34,000 illegal ballots and additional warnings from Detroit clerks that thousands, and it doesn't say how many, thousands of absentee ballot paper was different than the normal balance. So in other words, these were Xerox copies that somebody filled in. Let's just cut to the chase. You're not going to hear this on the national media because they don't want to tell that story. They claim they're journalists, which they're not. They're propagandists. And they're not going to tell you the story, so we're going to. So I'm just going to read a part of it, TJ, and then I'll get your reaction. A national expert in criminal forensics completed a report on the 2022 election in Michigan, has found further evidence of chronic systemic voter fraud, especially among absentee ballots that challenged the election. The firm, which is called Specken Forensics, I find that an amusing title or amusing name, and they have wide national experience in testing and criminal trials. Throughout their investigation, they were allowed limited access, and this is what they found, in the Wayne County, which covers Detroit, all this monkey business, pardon the pun, because I'm sure someone's going to say, oh, you're just a racist. A significant number of absentee ballots in different precincts illegally had no signed ballot application. Let me just throw this out there. Judges are saying you need to count those votes. These judges ought to be deemed corrupt and ought to be removed from the bench. Many absentee ballots had no request whatsoever. So who's to say there wasn't one in your name? Because you don't live in Wayne County, you live in Macomb County. But it's say our former colleague Marty, he may have had a ballot requested in his name, for all we know, and filled out by somebody we don't know, voting a way that we know he didn't vote. They would estimate that between 8 and 20% of the ballots were not requested. And then this article goes into all kinds of things that were said, and I'll get into that after you comment.
Well, when we go back to that whole 2020 election or the months leading up to it, I know my wife and I both had gotten I want to say at least 2, if not 3, absentee ballots in the mail. And every time we received them, I thought, how many people also is this occurring to or with? You know, and leading to how many is out there, how many of these are being sent in, and you just get this ill feeling in your gut, you know?
Yeah, we only received 1 each, which we did not request. I'll make that point. I think our late colleague, Kim, God rest her soul, said she received 5 or 6.
Well, I know my wife and I both received at least 2, and getting the first one without even requesting it was one thing, but then to get a second one, that's when that ill feeling really started to set in.
Well, if you were the right kind of voter, somebody probably would have come to your door, collected them, and turned them both in. Well, and that would have been 2 votes for their side.
That was part of the concern / suspicion to it all. And yeah, I'm in Macomb County, so yeah, it had to be even worse in Wayne.
Well, this is what some of the eyewitnesses said. Jose Alagaga described being at the counting boards on election night in 2020 and seeing large numbers of suspicious ballots that he felt were pre-printed and were suspiciously voting in the presidential and Senate elections. They came in very late at 3:30 a.m. I don't know about you, but I'm in favor of no election results being revealed nationwide until 100% of the vote is counted. So if we have to wait 2 months while Los Angeles takes 2 months to count all the, see, when the Democrat wins, it's usually they can count it in an hour and a half. But if the Republican is close, well, now it's going to take a while. And we know why it's going to take a while, because they have to figure out how many they need to win and then manufacture those votes.
Yeah, exactly. One little thing that I found interesting, because you mentioned a forensic examination, and I don't know why I didn't think of this, or I did find it interesting how these ballots were constructed of a certain paper material mixture, and so when people attempted to produce, we'll say, phony ones, part of what was detected was it's not on the right kind of paper, you know?
Right.
And I thought, oh wow, okay, well that's interesting.
I don't want to belabor the point on this video, and I don't want it to go too long, but I'm going to give you a couple of more quotes, and you can react to these as well. Chris Shornack saw that they didn't disqualify a single obviously illegal ballot. Justin Kringen also saw chronic irregularities at the counting boards. Jesse Jacob, a courageous Detroit whistleblower, offered an affidavit. And by the way, you can be prosecuted for filing a false affidavit. So these people are putting their freedom on the line to say these things, and yet they were completely disregarded by virtually everyone. He said that, and he offered an affidavit, as I said, that matches Chris Shornack's testimony. So there are people willing to put their freedom on the line, but hey, nothing to see here, right, Bill Barr? Of course, there are none more blind than those who refuse to see, and he's one of them.
Yeah.
Another backstabber. I'm surprised he's not in on the Lincoln Project.
You mentioned that there is the suspicion that behind closed doors he may have inadvertently assisted Jack Smith, but
that wouldn't surprise me at all. And you know,
I guess that's for another segment, maybe.
Yeah. All right, we'll wrap it up. We got that out there, which is what we wanted to do, to let you know that in Michigan, we all suspected the election here was a phony baloney, and it wasn't just Detroit by a long shot. I would throw Benton Harbor in there. I would throw Pontiac, Flint,
Lansing,
entire Ingham County.
Let's see, Jackson, Ann Arbor.
Yeah. The bastions of communism. That's why we call it the People's Republic of Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
Where they're so smart. So they think.
Yes.
All right, we'll wrap it up at that. And as we always say, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.